Okay, who of you have put together a puzzle? Or at least if you haven't put a full puzzle together, you've attempted to put a puzzle together. But like with a puzzle, like there's our beginner puzzles. And then if you're a serious puzzler, there's thousands and thousands of pieces. But with a puzzle, everything you're doing, you're trying to find that connection. Let's say you're doing a puzzle that's a landscape and you find the sky pieces and you're like, okay, here's my sky, and you start making those connections. But then that one sky piece, here comes like a little green leaf in that sky piece to hear these are connected, but now we're going to branch out and connect some more, because we have a big picture we're going for. Well, one day I had this nativity puzzle, and it had, of course, Mary and Joseph and Jesus and the shepherds. And one day the Lord started ministering to me, because I was actually ministering on fear in children's church. And he asked me a question. He said, "What did I say to all of them?" So I was like, okay. So I'm reading it, and I noticed that each one of them, he told them not to be afraid. The angel said, "Fear not." With Mary, with Joseph, with the shepherds, each one, he told them not to be afraid. And so then the Lord just started ministering to me, and he was like, each one of them had to overcome fear to make that connection, to be a part of in this connection he was making. And it was like he was showing me Joseph could have popped himself out of that puzzle. Thinking about that puzzle, Joseph could have popped himself out and not connected, because he was, this relationship that he's being asked to connect with could have caused him a lot of pain, a lot of grief, fear of embarrassment. There was a lot of fear, opportunities for him to feel, to be connected, and so he could have popped himself out and not made that connection. But he decided to trust God and overcome that fear and allow God to connect him. And each one of them had to do that. Mary had to do that, the shepherds even. But I think a lot of times with connecting with people, a lot have to overcome fear, anxieties with making connections. Oh, there's an opportunity to get hurt here. There's an opportunity that this could go bad. This could, we have those thoughts. But we have to trust God that if he's leading us, he's guiding us, he's wanting us to make those connections. There's a couple of things that are obvious about puzzle pieces. One thing that's obvious is one piece does not have the whole picture. It's just a part of it. You cannot get this whole thing on this one piece. Another thing that's obvious is with all these pieces, you're not going, when you have a puzzle, even if it's thousands and thousands of pieces, when you go in there, you're not going to find one puzzle piece that is a box that has walls on every side. Every puzzle piece has a connector because it's meant to be connected. And just like that one piece doesn't have the whole picture, and that one piece is meant to connect. We're meant to connect because God has the big picture. He has the big plan, but he needs us to connect. We need it because we don't have it all. We need to be connected, but a lot of times it's going to take overcoming fear and trust him. Trust him in those connections that he wants us to make. And just like we as adults have to overcome fear And we need that connection. So do our children. You know, children are a part of God's plan, a part of His puzzle, and they have a connector, and they need to be connected. So we need to help them to overcome fear, and I'll trust God to connect us.